Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today I'm going to be showing you 10 ideas to make pockets for junk journals. And I'm going to be using the thin scrapbook type of paper that is one-sided. I do have one project that I'm going to, maybe two, that might use double-sided. So you can use single-sided if you want, double-sided, but they are meant to be done with the single-sided. I'm going to put these to the side and we'll get started. All right, the first one is straightforward. It is going to be a wraparound pocket. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half. I don't know if there's an up or down. This looks like an up or down. I'm going to fold it in half so it wraps around the page. You can use a scoreboard. I do have my scoreboard over there if I need to. And then we are going to fold it up. Now, I'm going to fold it up approximately 1.5 inches. Again, if you want to use maybe 2 inches. 2 inches. No, that's 1.5 inches. Yeah, because there's 3 inches. Fold it up about 1.5 inches. If you want to use a scoreboard, you can do that. Again, this is just an eyeball kind of thing. And you're just going to wrap around the page this way. I think I do have a page up. I'm going to wrap around the page this way. Now, to make it a little fancier, I am going to ink the inside here with a bit of, I have my script stand, and I think probably not wide enough. We're gonna do it there. And we're gonna do it there. Okay. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, so it wraps around nicely around the pocket, is I am going to cut this slit here just to make it a little easier to fold around the pocket. And there's my scissors. I'm just going to trim this, cut a little slice to the fold. And there we are. Now, another thing to make it fancy is I'm going to round these corners. Now, I find it easiest to do 2 pieces of paper at once. I think I'll do the middle one. Since this is thinner paper, we're going to do all 4 corners since it's folded. And then when we open it, we're going to have fun little pockets. Now, if you want to ink, probably do it beforehand. Maybe I'll ink a little bit in here. Doesn't look like that corner cut. Must have been folded under. There we go. We'll just grunge it up a little bit. There we go. All right, for gluing, simple pockets. So we're just going to use my art glitter to glue that up. And glue that up. Now, this could definitely be done with other size paper. 8x8 would work. Digital would work. Just fold it in half, fold it up, and then fold it around. So we have a pocket that'll go on this side of the page, and then a pocket that will go on that side of the page once it wraps around and gets attached. So to attach it to the pocket, I would probably glue it on the bottom here so that you have an additional tuck spot, or you could glue it at the top and the bottom and have a side tuck. And if you really were adventurous, you could glue the one side in so you had a pocket on this side. But this side you could leave, since the other side is glued open, maybe put some blank paper back there and use it for a journaling spot. So, fun little wraparound with a 6x6 piece of paper. All right, project number 2. This is a little bit more complicated, but really not. All right, so we're going to take it and we're going to fold it in half. And we're going to take it and fold it in half. Pretty straightforward, right? Okay, so now we're going to take the bottom corner or the bottom line that's facing you, and if there's an angle, or not an angle, if there's a picture going a certain way, you want to make sure that the paper is upright and cut the bottom. But this really wouldn't matter because there's not really any Nothing there. Okay, so this is going to be probably the most trickiest part for it. Okay, so once this is folded like this, we're going to take this piece and fold it back and fold this piece down. Now, some of these pieces might end up being a little bit too wide. I think I might have to trim this one down a little bit for the fold. I'll show that again. So we cut that opening there. We folded this up to here, and then we're going to fold this back to here and this down. All right, so now this is going to become a side tuck pocket. So if you want to, at this point, do a thumb notch in there, so you know it's a side tuck. And then this is going to be a top tuck. Now, since you can't see really the side tuck, what I have done is gone through and I have gone through both layers. So this front layer now has a top tuck and a side tuck. Okay, we're going to go through that one more time. It's a little bit more complicated, but in the end it's really easy. All right, so we cut down there and we folded it up and we folded that back, and then this goes down and then this goes here. So this side one, we would take the two together and put a little notch, and then we put a little notch at the top. This is going to go here, and in the end, we're going to have a side pocket and a top pocket. Now for gluing, the best way to do it is kind of work your way from the back and go forward. All right, so this back one, since it's a side tuck, we're going to put a little glue down here. Now if you wanted to put something there to get rid of it, do a little ink, something like that before it closes, you can go ahead and do that. All right, so this one is going to go back this way, and we're going to glue this so it's a top pocket. Now, since there's a hole there, I am going to glue down the side and around the hole, and that way, and the bottom. And you might think, well, that's going to take up some room for it. It will take a little bit of room up. You now have basically a skinnier pocket for that, but you can definitely still stick stuff that goes in there and makes a pocket. And then last but not least, this forward one is going to go this way, and we're just going to glue it that way. And then that becomes a side tuck. Side tuck there, top tuck there, and side tuck there. Simple, easy. Now you can see this, because of the way folds go and everything, if you need to trim it, you do that. Throw a little ink on there, get rid of whatever issues it has. But simple, easy, but yet complicated from one single 6x6 piece of paper. I love it. All right, so the third one is a side tuck pocket that we're going to start with by folding the edge up. Now I'm going to leave a bit of a border, and the border is really up to you. We just want to make sure that that point stays pointed to pointed. So I'm leaving maybe about 1 inch, 3/4 there. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold up. We want to have a side pocket go there. So we want to fold the bottom up, and again, sort of leaving the same amount of width there for a pocket. And we'll go ahead and increase that down. All right, so if you don't want the white, you can get rid of it using washi tape. I have a washi tape sitting over here that could be fun. It's got some orange and red on it. And we're just going to reopen this back up. Now, if you had a double-sided piece of paper, obviously this would not be an issue. The part that is the back would be showing. All right. It's kind of like an advertising washi. And we're going to do our best to put it to the edge and a little up and a little down. I'm going to trim this off. Trim and trim. Probably could fold it to the back, being this would probably get glued down to a piece of paper, but we're just going to cut it off for now. Okay, so that was wide enough. If you folded this a little farther down and you needed two, you could put 2 strips there. I'm not too worried about down there, but if we wanted to add a little bit just to get rid of the white, we could go ahead and, oops. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Now, if you want to, you can go ahead and round these corners just to soften the, of course, it's probably too thin. So we're gonna round the corners with some scissors. There we go. And there you go. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue this edge right here down to hold it up. Because since this is going to be, you can glue this onto a page like this, or you could glue it on the edge of a page like this to have up tuck, and maybe just glue along the bottom. So there's different ways you can lay it onto a page, but either way, you've got a pocket that stuff can go in here, and then you've got a smaller pocket that stuff can go in here. Go that way, or of course, like I said, going that way, depending on how you want it to go. So simple, easy, 2 folds, and you are done. Fun pocket. I probably should round that corner, but I don't think it would cut through the washi tape, but it'd be cute to round those corners too. But I'm gonna leave it. So yeah, there we go. All right, number 4 is super easy, and this can be either a pocket or a tag. So we're just going to take the 6x6 and we are going to fold it in half. So if we want it, depending on which way we want to be able to tuck something in, we can fold it either direction. I'm going to have it go this way. So the first fold I'm going to make is going to go down. I'm not going to fold it all the way to the crease, but I'm going to fold it fairly far in to give it a bit of an angle. And then I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to fold it in to just right below where that fold is. So it kind of makes it covers it up. Okay? All right, I'm just going to really quickly glue that corner down so it stays. This corner I'm not going to glue yet. We are going to add some washi tape in there so that it's not white. Now, again, this is an option. If you want it white, you're fine. If you don't want it white, washi tape would be helpful. I have this fun yellow with a rainbow on it, which I thought would be pretty with the green. It's got the white daisies, and it's got little yellow centers. And we're going to put it across here. And it gets bigger than I need. I'm going to have it go so it gets bumped up right into there. And there we go. Now again, if you know this is going to get attached into a binder, you can wrap it around. If you think it might be a tag to go into somewhere, you can cut it off. So since I don't know exactly where it's going to go, I'm going to trim it off, making it nice in the back and nice in the front. Now, if this front fold was too far down and this was not wide enough, you could put a second strip there. It'd be fine. You could also fold this back and have it just be like that. But I think it's kind of fun to add that extra little bit there, decorate it. So now I'm going to glue that part down. Whoops. Slippery. All right. Now to finish it off, we are just going to glue this shut. And we'll glue that side and the bottom. so now you have a nice place to stick some tall tag in there, skinny tag. Attach this. You can attach this to a journal page, like so. Glue it in the two sides, be able to have something to tuck in here, and then be able to do a nice tall pocket in there. Or again, just take this and tuck it into a pocket and make it its own little tag. Super cute. All right, so the next one is fairly easy. It is a tag. You can score it or just fold it. We are going to score it just 1.5 inches from the one side. Oops, don't fall, don't fold. 1.5 inches from one side. And the other side, we're going to score it at 2. All right, so at 2 inches, we fold that one in. And then 1.5 we fold on top. Pretty simple. So it ends up being a 2.5 inch wide tag, which would actually probably fit pretty perfect into one of those. Look at that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get we're going to corner around, or put a hole punch, a thumb hole in there. If you want to ink, do it beforehand. And we're going to glue this down. And we probably could use the dry glue, but I grabbed that first. So we're going to glue that down. And this one is going to get glued just across the top and the bottom, because it is going to be a tuck spot. All right, so you could leave it like that. Looks like it got folded a little crooked. There we go. You could leave it like that, make that still a little tuck spot to go in there, or we can make it a tag, which I think I prefer because it's kind of a skinny little size here. I think making a tag would be perfect. We'll go ahead and trim that out. You want to put a hole in there for the top, that'll work. But again, this is just a nice, simple tag to go in there. And if you put something in there, you could always, like I said, put it in one of those. Looks like I should have trimmed the edge first. Should have trimmed the tag first and then put the glue on there, because I cut away some of the glue that was going that direction. There we go. So cute. All right, number 6, we are going to make a pseudo kind of envelope, and I'm going to fold this up. Now, this happens sometimes when you're cutting, if you have 6x6 papers, sometimes they're not exactly 6x6. Sometimes they're a little off. So we're just going to go ahead and trim that down. I did cut these from 12x12 papers, and if you're looking for some a variety of 6x6 papers that have been trimmed by 12x12, I actually have in my eBay store where you can get like 50 different pieces of paper in rainbow color and just make a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of them are vintage papers from when I was scrapbooking, so they're like 20 some years old. Very generic kind of looking one, so very usable in all kinds of stuff. But okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold this into itself. Not quite halfway. And then we're going to fold this that way. And we're just going to try to make it so it looks like it's about equal. Now you could fold it so this corner goes to here, but then this pocket becomes pretty tiny. And I like the pocket a little bit bigger. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and go ahead and do that. All right, so next thing you wanna do is you wanna glue these together. So we're gonna go ahead and open this back up again. I'm gonna use this so we're going to glue that triangle together. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is glue these two together. Now, if you don't glue that triangle together, you can tuck itself into there and have it stay. That works, or you can just glue them separately. But if you tuck it in there, you can just put one bead of glue down the bottom here and glue it together. Again, if you wanted to ink or anything, you can go ahead and do that beforehand. That works. And also, I like to round the top, kind of looking like an envelope. I think that stark corner is just a little too stark, and I think I probably should have done this beforehand. I'm gonna go with the bigger one. Oh, it worked. Sometimes it doesn't like to, you know, cut with the glue. All right, so now you got a nice simple little pocket to be able to put stuff in. Kind of looks like a little envelope. Once again, you can kind of glue this to the page as a pocket. Glue two sides, make a side tuck, or even glue all three and just have a tall place for a pocket. So nice and simple, easy to do. Again, one-sided scrapbook paper. Okay, so the next one, we are going to make another double pocket. All right, so we're going to take our 6x6 and we're going to fold it to leave about 3/4 of an inch open on the side. And the reason I do that is because I do want to use some washi tape to cover that up. And I do have a washi tape in mind, and I want to make sure that it is wide enough. So you can make it really however far you want it to go. All right, the next thing we're going to do is going to fold this up, and we're going to fold this up about an inch. Maybe a little more than an inch. Just a tiny little pocket. Looks like this paper might have been cut a little crooked. All right, so next thing we're gonna do, this is gonna go and fold up as the pocket. So we need to get rid of this back piece here. So we need to cut that part out. So we're gonna cut, and I'm just gonna cut a little higher than the fold, just so there's room for it to fold up. There we go. All right, so we're going to put the washi tape here just to get rid of that white. Of course, if you like the white or you have a double-sided one, you do not need to do that. Get rid of that. And I probably can keep that. It's okay. It's not really going to add any bulk to it, so we're good. All right. I did go over the edge a little, so I'm just going to fold it back. There we go. Okay, so for this, I am going to round these corners, or at least this corner right here. And I think I'm going to use a bigger one. And I'm also going to round this corner. There we go. I probably should have used a little smaller round. I got a little bit of white showing there. That's okay. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue this down. Now, you can glue this down so it doesn't kind of lift a little bit. So we're just going to throw a little bit of glue there. You probably would not have to because this is going to get glued up. It's kind of like one of those old-fashioned bank envelopes when you used to go get the cash from the bank. They would be able to slide it in and then have a deposit slip in there. Very similar to that. So you can put a card in here and you can put a card in here. Again, be able to use it onto a piece of paper on a journal page and be able to stick something behind there, stick one in there, and stick one in there. And depending on which way you fold it, you could have it go the opposite way and go into another side of a pocket. But super cute. I like that one a lot. Okay, for the next one, I am going to use a double-sided. It does not have to be double-sided. I'll show you my prototype when we're done here. I did not use a double-sided for that. But I'm going to show you why I think I prefer double-sided when we're done. So we are going to take this and we are going to cut it on the diagonal. Now I'm going to cut it with a chopper because it's a little thicker. There we go. Just going to cut corner to corner so we have 2 triangles. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to fold them into each other to make a smaller triangle. And since this is double-sided, I'm going to fold them in opposite directions. So for this triangle, the back side, the green is showing, and for this triangle, I'm going to have the purple side showing. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to meld these together. Oops. There we go. We're going to meld these together so it makes a pocket like this. Now, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can just go ahead and glue the outsides to them, but I'm going to show you just a little bit different way that I've decided to do them. So we're going to start with the 2 back pieces, and we're going to put glue. We're going to put glue on this back one, and we're going to put this here. And the most important thing probably is to line up the bottom and not have it be in its little crease. Okay, all right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue this top piece to here. All right, and there we go. Now what makes this one is a little different is the fact that this, whoops, is now like a big crown. It's open. So we're going to go ahead and just put some glue down here in the center. Now, a lot of these would end up gluing like, so this was a pocket here only, and this was a pocket or something, but I'm just going to make one pocket. Make sure this creased down pretty good. I'm just going to make it one pocket. So you have to go back. After you make it one pocket, there we go. Come on, open up. After you make it one pocket, you need to go back and glue this together. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue in there and glue that down. And we're going to go ahead and put some glue in here and glue that side down. We're going to make sure that the glue didn't sneak out and glue itself to the front or back because we want to keep it. There we go. So the reason I did that is because when you glue it onto a page, this leaves definitely a bigger area to be able to stick some more stuff in. So you can go ahead and glue it the 3 sides back, and if you squeeze it in just a little bit, you have a bit more room to have stuff to go in. Again, you can glue it however way you want to and be able to have, only glue down here so you have a tuck in the front and still have the tuck in the center, and depending on how you glue it, even have a tuck in the back. But that is the way that I glued it, to be able to have more of an opening in there to glue that. And that came out really pretty with the purple and the green. Let me show you the one I did as a prototype. So this one I used just generic paper, did the same folds, but you can see it's white on the inside. So when you go to glue it down and you want to tuck something in, you have white on the inside, which is not awful, but that is just another way to do it. These were obviously folded so that the color was on the outside and the white was on the inside, versus how these were folded in two different directions. But two different ways to do that one. Both are fun, but I really like this one better. Okay, so this is the 9th one, and this one we are going to cut. This is 6 by 6. We're going to cut in half to 3 by 3. And this one is double-sided, and it really should be double-sided. All right, so we are going to score these, and we are going to score at 1 inch for one of them. And the second one, we are going to score at 2 inches. Now you can vary this a little, maybe do 1.5, 2.5, but you want just two separate score sizes. All right, so we're going to fold them on the score, and I'm not sure which way it's going to go. If it's going to go that way or this way. It's going to go this way. But you want to alternate it between the front and the back, so that way it goes one way, or you can do it this way and have this go this way. This ends up being a little bit more green, and I think I like it that way a little bit better. All right, so the next thing you want to do is, if you want to put thumb notches in there, you can, but these papers are usually enough of a different color that it's not too much of a worry. The other thing you can do is round the corners, and I definitely do like doing that. And I probably can do them together. I'm just going to do the tiny one just to nick the edges off, but again, not a necessary thing to do. All right, so we're gonna start by gluing this down. But one thing I did notice when I was playing with my prototype is if you actually wanted to make a booklet out of this, it would be fun to do. You would just open it up here, sew it down here, and you could have a little baby booklet to put somewhere. So a little side project for that. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue it in. So we're gonna start with this back one, and we're gonna glue it so it's a pocket. So we're going to go top to bottom, top to bottom. All right, so we want to make sure that it goes all the way to this bottom and it is straight on the sides. Now this is probably the most important one to do, because it really, once this is down, the rest are going to fall into place. So we're going to do that one and that one, and glue that down, and then the little guy. Again, if you wanted to ink stuff beforehand, you can go ahead and do that, or if you just want to throw some ink at the end on the outsides, that'll work. Cute, right? So you got a little pocket, and a little pocket, and a little bit taller of a pocket. Super cute, right? All right, last but not least, the 10th idea. Now this one is probably the fanciest, and I am going to use my border punch, but it is not necessary to use the border punch, but it just makes it fun. So we're going to take two 6 by 6s. They can be white on one side, it doesn't matter, and we're going to fold them in half. Now, if there is a direction, you want to pay attention to that. It's going to end up being a pocket that can go this way, and also it can be a side pocket. But this it can go both ways, but it's probably better if you use a generic one. Okay, so for whichever one you want to use your fun color for, you're going to pick the other one and put a thumb hole in it. I think I probably want the prettiness on here. So I'm going to take and put a thumb hole on there. I got my big thumb hole punch. I'm going to do that one. All right, and then for this, we're going to make it pretty. And I'm only going to do one of them, or one side, not both sides like we did the thumb hole. This punch I got from not Hobby Lobby, Michael's actually. It's a Recollections. There we go. I don't know if Hobby Lobby has border punches. I know you can find them on Amazon and eBay. I found a few on eBay in the past. I only have like 3 of them. There we go. So pretty. I like the Recollections ones because they have a little base in there that catches the stuff. All right, so this is what it's going to end up looking like. Cute, right? So this back side is going to be a tuck pocket. This side is going to have a tuck pocket, but this is all blank inside. So again, we can always go ahead and make it prettier by throwing a little bit of stamping in there. I'm just going to stamp in the center. It's crooked. It's crooked. All right, so stamp if you want, decorate however you want, but that's okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're not going to put it together flush. We're going to put it together so it's got a bit of room. So now this is where you can vary how you want it to be. If you want it to be a 4-inch wide, 4.5, that's fine. You just can't go too far because you got to remember that you got to be able to glue this on. So my best suggestion, get it back apart again, is to do it at about 4 inches, which would be like right about there. But again, it's really just an eyeball kind of thing. All right. Okay, so we're going to do that. Looks like I need to trim that down too. And we're going to go ahead and glue this on. I'm going to take this part that's going to fold over, and I'm going to glue the whole thing down so I know that it is stuck there well. And probably the most important thing really is getting it straight. I mean, you can go back and trim it if it's a little off, but all right. And for this side, we are now going to glue this pocket down. And there you go. Cute little pocket on this side. A little too tall to stick in, but it's a cute little pocket on this side. And then when this opens up, you got a cute little pocket in there. And be able to close it, tuck that into its own pocket. And super cute, right? Well, there you have it. 10 different ideas, all using 6x6 scrapbook paper. All of them use one scrapbook paper except for the last one. And some washi tape got added to a couple of them. And that was pretty much it. Some folds and some glue. And you're all set. Double-sided, but not necessary. Double-sided, probably necessary. I don't know if I'd want white in there. But yeah, super cute, super fun, super easy to do. I love them all. Great ideas to make and stick in your idea book, which is where all these are going to be going. When this is all said and done, I might have a video where I go ahead and decorate these before I put them in the book. I got a couple other things that I made recently that I probably want to decorate and get in the idea book. So I might have to do a video on that and do some decorating and do some filing in my idea book. All right, well, that is going to be it for me. If you like the ideas, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so you can see some upcoming videos and ideas that I've got. And that is going to be it for me today. As usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.